Tonight on WCW Nitro, we have got lots of things happening, and it's February. We don't really know how we're doing things. It's SuperBrawl in a couple of weeks. Sid Vicious, who's the number one contender, is in the main event. We've got implications for the US titles, the tag titles, a number one contendership match that's brewing in the background. Everything's going on, and you're here as well. So welcome to Spike Piledriver. My name's Anders. This is WCW 2000 on Total Extreme Wrestling 9. But there is a twist. If you're not familiar with the series, go and watch the other episodes as well and see how we got here. But basically, before every show, after we've booked the card, we go to this page here and run a little bit of a random number generator. Oh no, the Horsemen need to be reformed. Horsemen forever. Reform the Four Horsemen for a brief return. They already exist. Replace a member for no reason. Wonderful. Okay. How are we going to do this? I mean, we could... I've got an idea already. Oh, no. Right. Let's see how we can do this. Benoit has got two mystery partners tonight. We're going to reframe that. Okay. Flair tasks. Okay, we've got that. I've got this. Let's just Flair tasks Benoit to reform the Four Horsemen tonight and choose two new members as his partners in tonight's six-man tag. Benoit has got two partners in mind. On the way tonight, there we go. Completely different walks of life. We'll find out when the bell rings. Okay, excellent. Right. As you can see, I'm pointing at the screen. You can't see where I'm pointing. As you can see here, I'll use my actual mouse, that the mystery partners are revealed and Benoit is then in a six-man tag against Madness Inc. This will now be the Four Horsemen, and we will reform them properly going forward. That doesn't really change much of the show. So let's go back to this sheet here. No, we're not doing that. We're not hitting the reset button, that's for sure. Right. Climb the pole. A random match must have something on a pole, and we're not really sure why. Okay. Right. Let's think. Which match can have something on a pole? The hardcore title match, maybe? Let's have a look here. Right. We're going to add a new match. This is a basic copy of a hardcore title match. We're going to add a pole, and it's going to be hardcore title on a pole. And a hardcore title on... No, let's do something random, like... Hardcore title on a pole is where we're going with to begin with. Let's think if we can add something strange to the pole to begin with. Let's think. It's not going to. You're still going to have a pinfall match. Stoppage. We can't have stoppage in there. It's on a pole match. We'll just go with that. We'll just put the hardcore title on a pole. I'm short of ideas, honestly, of what to put on there. We could go with. Who's actually in the match? We've got Dustin Rhodes, Fit Finlay, Brian Knobbs, and Norman Smiley. We'll go with a cowbell on a pole. There we go. Cowbell on a pole match. Cowbell up, yeah. Cowbell pole. Right, we'll go with that. Excellent. Cowbell pot. Yeah, wonderful. Book the segment, and we'll have some sort of angle beforehand. Rhodes announces four-way invitational cowbell on a pole hardcore title match. Winner is the first. You can only win after hitting an opponent with the cowbell. Excellent. We'll just do a nice 3 minutes in-ring interview. Well, it's promo, isn't it? Okay, whatever. Yeah. Cowbells at the ready. Okay, Dustin. Time for some working of the crowd. Wonderful. Done. Let's move that down to here. Okay, I mean, the rest of the show is daft already, so we're not going to add a third change. But let's go. Let's go through Nitro on the 7th of February. Here we are then. We are in Missouri at the Joplin Memorial Hall. I don't think we've been here yet. Anyway, Hulk Hogan, who I forgot to change his post picture. Right, Nitro starts with Hogan making his way down to the ring. He's in red and yellow. Ignore the black photo. He's not in that, he's in the red and yellow. We'll change in a second. He pumps up the crowd before Mean Gene joins him in the ring for an interview. Hogan tells Mean Gene that the Hulkster is back to take WCW on another wild ride. A lot of dudes in the back have been running their mouths for too long and treating this ring like their own toilet. Okay, Hulkster. The Hulkster has had enough, and the Hulkamaniacs need to get ready for a new Hulk Hogan for the year 2000. A bigger and better and badder and bolder Hulk Hogan, whose goal is to rid the WCW of all the filth in the locker room and take back his WCW World title. He's going to be watching the show from his locker room, and if he sees something that's against the spirit of Hulkamania, he'll march right out to the ring and let them know about it. Jack, I guess they're 54. Hogan has been penalised for personal issues, and we're just going to return to the booking screen for one moment and go to the roster page and find Hulk. No, that's Hugh Morris. Where is he? Hulk Hogan is in the building. We'll change his picture. I'm sure there are lots of Hulk Hogan pictures, so bear with me whilst this loads up. Hulk Hogan. Right, we don't want Hollywood. We want a red and yellow one from a vaguely year 2000 kind of position. Oh, maybe that one. It's a little bit grainy. These are all a little bit Hulk looking a bit strange. He's a strange looking bloke, isn't he, Hulk Hogan? These are all older ones now. 2K, yeah, okay. 2K1 alt, that one. Maybe that's 215. We don't want 15. Maybe we'll just... Is that one? That one's a little bit more recent. That's 2002. Well, maybe we'll go with that one. I should have done this. Well, there's a lot of Hogan photos, isn't there? I'm going to go with that one from 2002, even though it's a little bit later on than where we are in the save. But we'll go with that, and he's now in the red and yellow and fits in. Right, continue show! Okay, Kurt Hennig enters the WCW Commissioner's office with Ric Flair and tells the Nature Boss that he's going to go out into the ring tonight to challenge an old friend for SuperBrawl. He wants the boss to book the match tonight. Right, that one gets a 62, and it sets up another angle later on, which will set up a match for SuperBrawl. We're building. Okay, first match of the night. Our tag team champions who won them last week, Booker T and Rey Mysterio, defeated the Young Dragons, who have just been formed for no real reason. They've teamed up on Thunder. Anyway, Kaz Hayashi loses with a scissors kick, designed to steal the show. The tag champs defend their titles for the first time. Jimmy Yang or Yun Yang and Kaz Hayashi doing the job. They don't work very well as a team, so we'll just disband them again and forget it ever happened. 42 rating for that one for 4 minutes. And then after the match, Harlem Heat 2000 rushed down to the ring and ambushed the tag team champions. Ray sent flying from the ring before Booker is dropped with a Harlem plunge. Stevie picks up the tag titles and throws them down on his brother. At SuperBrawl, the two teams go to war. Poor segment rating there, but never mind. Moving on. Benoit visits the office of the Commissioner, and the US champion will lead a team in a 6-man match tonight against the Madness Inc. Flair tasked Benoit to reform the Four Horsemen and choose 2 new members as his partners tonight. It's going to be a strange-looking Four Horsemen, I'll give you that. Benoit's got 2 partners in mind, who are from completely different walks of life, and we'll find out when the bell rings. And this one used an angle idea, and it was a success, and we got a 61 rating out of it. We'll find out who is in the new look Four Horsemen later tonight. Right, next match, decent bout, tag team match. The Revolution, Perry Saturn and Dean Malenko defeated the Armstrongs in 2 minutes, with the Rings of Saturn putting Scott Armstrong out. They did well, 41 rating, good. They both got tag team specialist bonuses. Everyone in the match did. Excellent chemistry for the Armstrongs, but they're JOB guys. 41 rating, and that leads into the next angle where Shane Douglas is celebrating the victory of his team and declares that they've got their gold in their sights as the Revolution look to take over the WCW. We've got the Cruiserweight title with Kidman, and the tag team titles are next. Everyone's trying to take over the WCW. 32 rating. Let's move on. Backstage, DDP is with Mean Gene. He's hyping up his tag team match with Kanyon tonight. He's chosen Conan and his partner just because we've got no one else, really. And the Wall will be backing up Kanyon. This is just a stepping stone for DDP. as he wants to put Canyon and his soon-to-be ex-wife in the rear view as he moves on with his life and his career. Only a 45 rating there. Never mind. Dustin Rhodes announces that there's a 4-way invitational cowbell and a pole match tonight for the hardcore title. You can only win after hitting your opponent with the cowbell. Yes. And in said match, Dustin Rhodes wins by pinning Norman Smiley in 4 minutes. He's made defense number 2 of the hardcore title. I mean, why not? 34 rating. Finlay apparently is not that good either. Dustin Rhodes carrying the in-ring performance there. Surprised about that one, but there we go. Norman Smiley still getting a hot move, still got a groundswell of support, even though he's doing absolutely nothing. Next up, Kurt Hennig heads to the ring and announces that he's a very personal challenge to make for SuperBrawl. He calls out his former friend and tag team partner from 15 years ago, Scott Hall. Hall of the NWO arrives on his own and tells Hennig that he's always respected him and offers him a place in the NWO 2000. Hennig says he's a changed man and he didn't want a spot in the NWO. He just wants a one-on-one match to prove who the better man is. Hall took a moment but then accepted, and he got a benefit from having a hot catchphrase. This got the crowd hot. We've got a white hot crowd, which is something unusual for the moment, but 51 rating there, and that sets up our match for SuperBrawl. We're trying to get some more matches booked for the big show in just under 2 weeks. We've got one more Nitro to go before then. Right, in the enmity or whatever they're called, War Room, Berlin is telling his troops that he's going to be organising a tag team debut for Barbarian and Hugh Morris next week. Victory puts them one step closer to the tag titles, but then the dimly lit room changes and some terrible disco music starts playing, and the Disco Inferno starts trying to dance and lighten the mood, but his teammates do not approve of his music choice. This one is thanks to some comments from the last episode. If you haven't seen the comments, I don't want to tell you about them because it will spoil what I'm doing with this angle, because they were great. So you've got the comments to thank for this one. Right, 34 rating here. It won't get some good ratings, but it might be fun along the next few weeks. Next up, Sid is with Mean Gene. He is the master and ruler of the world. He's got his sights set on the world title. Jeff Jarrett's not a match for Sid, and he'll go down to a powerbomb tonight. This one only gets a 42. But never mind. Right, we're still very hot with the crowd, this is the longest hot streak we've had. Okay, the total package is already planning when to cash in his WCW title shot after he breezes past Sting at SuperBrawl. He knows his former friend better than the Stinger knows himself, and then he goes into the ring and makes light work of Buddy Lee Parker. 52 rating actually for this one. That's impressive. Torture Act does the job, and a good performance from Luger. Liz doing some good work at ringside, but that's not it. The lights go out after the match, and Sting drops from the rafters. He points his baseball bat right in the face of Luger, and the total package is spooked and hightails it out of the ring. This one will continue, and we will go on to SuperBrawl, and it's a number 1 contenders match with package being able to be... No, there's no DQs just for the total package. Sting can still get DQ'd. We'll see how that one fares as we get there. Backstage, Hogan's in his locker room watching what Luger and Sting are up to, and he's still being penalised due to personal issues. So, wonderful. Thanks, Hogan. You're really helping. Next up, in a extremely short match, DDP and Conan defeat Canyon and The Wall after The Wall is disqualified for dropping Page through a table at ringside. Excellent. Page is still head and shoulders above everyone else. The Wall is still head and shoulders below everyone else. And it kind of evened out to a pretty average match, 49-1 rating for this one. Crowd is still very hot. Kimberly Page doing some good work at ringside, though, for Canyon. Canyon's debuted a new spot. Of course he has. It's Canyon. He's the innovator. Psychology will be helped as he'll be able to use it as a go-to spot in the future. Thank you, Jimmy Hart. Next up, in the NWO locker room. We're still getting poor ratings for the NWO. Nash hyping up Jarrett ahead of his match with Sid in the main event, and then Steiner goes on a rant about Ric Flair being a pathetic excuse for a commissioner, and an even worse excuse for a man. Big Papa Pumps wants to put the Nature Boy to sleep for good. That's just Scott Steiner going on a rant. 44 rating there. Disappointing. Scott Hall looked good and got a hot catchphrase, even though he didn't really say much. But a segment rating of 44 is not great. I don't know whether it's because we've got Midajah and Shakira there, or what, that it's not working. I mean, let's just look quickly at the dirt sheet. Hot new cheer. I mean, nothing is jumping out as... Okay, everyone's getting penalised for low morale and the locker room morale being low, and I think that's just generally ruining everything. Wonderful. Next up, Benoit introduces his 2 new partners tonight, making his return, Rowdy Roddy Piper, and making his debut, Sabu, who gets an extremely poor rating for his extremist gimmick. Excellent. That is the new look for Horseman. Yep. Poor. Good start. Okay. I didn't book it. Well, I did. But there we go. The match itself actually is quite good. 63 rating for the match. Benoit, Piper and Sabu defeat the Madness Inc. with Benoit submitting Bagwell in the crossface. Benoit obviously getting the highest performance out of everyone. Piper being there is interesting. I just needed to add someone to the match. And Sabu was debuting. I was going to add him to the hardcore match, but then I decided to add him to this one instead. Who knows whether it was the right choice, but he's now part of the 4 Horsemen accidentally, so excellent. Next, after the bell, chaos continues to ensue, with Madness Inc. looking for revenge and Savage trying to injure Benoit. He takes a massive swing with a steel chair, but Benoit ducks and locks him in the crossface. Bigelow and Bagwell pull their leader from the ring, and Madness Inc. retreat up the ramp. We're still ticking on towards that US title match with Savage and Benoit, and I'm sure it will disappoint. Sorry, won't disappoint. 43 rating for that one. Nash is backstage with Mean Gene. He's got every confidence in Jeff Jarrett tonight to take care of business for the NWO. Sid might be challenging for the title at SuperBrawl, but only if he can get there in one piece. That one only gets a 54 as well, which is a shame. But we'll move on. The main event, great match. 66 rating overall. Sid pins Jeff Jarrett clean as a whistle in the middle of the ring with a powerbomb. Still forgot to change the typo of powerbomb for Sid's finisher. But never mind. Sid was off his game, but we still got a 66 rating out of this one. He still got a groundswell of support, but that's not the end of the show. This is, after the bell, the Outsiders and Scott Steiner rush down to the ring and ambush Sid. A 4-on-1 beatdown ensues. Hennig and Flair run down to make the save, but they don't quite make it, and it isn't until Hulk Hogan hits the ring and the tide turns. Hogan and Co. run off the New World Order, and the Hulkster poses in the ring as Nitro goes off the air. And it only gets a 52 rating, and Hulk Hogan is stinking up the joint already. Why have we brought him back? He only got a 56 for his just literal pose down at the end, and it's still only got a 56 rating. Hogan is not going to bring the ratings like I thought he was. His personal issues are too much. The show is finished, and we've got a 63 rating for the show, which I think either matches or is one better than last week's show. We are still just about improving week on week. I was hoping Hogan was going to bring in some better ratings. Financially, we've made money on the show, but we did not make money last month, so we'll ignore that. Popularity-wise, we are just about breaking even in the US. Still losing a little bit, but we're slowly dragging the popularity down to match the show rating, so we're going to be okay soon, honest. Everywhere else has improved ever so slightly, but not enough to shout home about, and that is the end of WCW Nitro. Next week is the go-home show before SuperBrawl. We've not had any new champions. Shibata looks very young there. I think if we just quickly look at our inbox, for crying out loud. Right, Savage turning the locker room against Miss Elizabeth. Billy Silverman's a referee. Kevin Nash, Big T, Conan, Leo Meow. Randy Savage doesn't also believe that Berlin is a waste of time. Brilliant. Thanks. Ric Flair is not happy about the wall. Yep, neither am I. And then Scott Hall is turning people against Ric Flair. So Bam Bam, Paisley, Miss what? Jimmy Hart. Who's he turning here? Like, seriously. Horace Hogan, The Demon, Chris Benoit, Kevin Sullivan, Booker T, Dustin Rhodes, Hulk Hogan, and Asia. And then also Terry Taylor's got an opinion that Kaz Hayashi doesn't connect with the fans either. Wonderful. Good ratings for Nitro, I guess. What happened on Raw this week? Let's have a look what happened on Raw. Big Show retained his WWF Championship against Mr. Ass. The Rock and Kane beat Mankind and Jericho. Bossman retains the Hardcore title. I don't know who Team Chaos are. Okay, wonderful. What? I think if we quickly look at the WWF, I think The Rock won the Royal Rumble. Let's just quickly look at their champions. So the Big Show's still the champion. Val Venus is the European champion still. Bossman still the hardcore champion. They're not doing much here. Road Dogg's the new Intercontinental champion. Won that on the 4th of January. On SmackDown, King of the Ring hasn't happened yet. Taka is the new light heavyweight champion. The Rock did indeed win the Royal Rumble. The Cat's still the women's champion, and the tag champs are still the Outlaws. Not much is happening on the WWF, but they are absolutely smashing us in the ratings. So, wonderful. Just quickly on the show history, just to double check how we did. Nitro was okay, 58, 63, just one better than last week. So we are getting slightly better. Ignore that thunder there. That was just really good. So since sold out, we've gone 60, 61, 62, 63. That means SuperBrawl should be a 65. I'll be happy with that. Right, thanks a lot for watching. This has been Nitro, WCW 2000, here on Spike Piledriver. Catch me again next week where we go through the final show, the go-home show before SuperBrawl, which is in 12 days. Nitro's in 6 days. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. If you remember to like and subscribe, share it with your friends. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Drop me some good ideas in the comments as well. I'm loving some of the ideas for different angles and bookings and storylines and everything that are going on in the comments. Really appreciate it. We're going to lose money this month as well. I've just seen the finances there and it's not very good. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you next time. I've been Anders. Goodbye.